Hey, hey, hey. Hey. Hello. I'm good. How are you? Just gonna get blocked. Nail ASMR, I mean, yeah. No, I'm okay. I wasn't good earlier, but I guess I'm okay. Well, I'll go live there soon once I get a place. I'll have to figure out. I don't know why some people goes and blindly support someone, especially somebody who is literally a Trump supporter. Like, have you even looked into Karuna? Have you looked into Karuna, the ASMR girl? Because if you've looked into her, she's actually transphobic. So, I guess you're transphobic? Because if you support her, then you support transphobia. And if you support her, then you support Trump, which means you're a pedophile. So, yeah. I mean, she supports a pedophile, so she's a pedophile. I mean, and it makes sense. And then she lied. She tried to tell people that she got educated and that she didn't vote for Trump. You can see everything that Trump has done. No one needs to tell you what Trump has done. For you to sit there and lie and be like, well, I was going to vote for him, but then I got educated and I'm no longer going to vote for him anymore. That's a flat out lie. It was on Twitter, which, mind you, she deleted her Twitter, by the way. She got caught and she deleted it. That's why. And there's a whole Reddit on her. Like, she's very problematic. And Karuna just likes to start beef with random people when she's failing. When she needs clout, when she needs attention, when she needs some whatever it is, because, you know, yeah, I know what the argument is going to be. Oh, she has a lot of followers. It doesn't matter about her millions of followers on YouTube. You still can flop. And when you flop, that means that you create fake beef with someone, or you start with random people because you ain't hitting numbers like you used to. Trust me, I don't post a lot on TikTok, that's why. But she's not hitting the numbers that she used to hit, so she has to find something. She has to find some way to gain attention. Again. I don't post as much anywhere. I get busy doing things and then it gets too late and I'm like, oh, and then it's after 10 and I still want to post, then I'm like, no. So I'm going to try to post early. Karuna. It's known because there's literally been videos of people saying she starts beef with random people. I make fake essay allegations? No, you're just a victim shamer. So, how do I make fake essay allegations? That makes no sense, considering the fact that that stuff actually happened to me. which is so crazy. I don't have to fake anything. It's my experience. And when I speak about my experience and me trying to heal rather than trying to harbor and hold in my feelings, you're just mad because you don't like the fact that something happened to me. And anytime something traumatic happens, you're mad because you think that's going to be a way to be like, oh, now here she goes using it as an excuse. SA does not garner any money. I don't know what people think. Telling a story does not make money, considering the fact I'm not even in the creator fund, nor do I get paid to talk on my live about SA. That's a dumb thing. Like, being sexually assaulted, just because I talk about it on my live, I don't make money. Nobody's sending me money because I got SA'd. And if they did, I would send it right back, because who's sending someone money for being SA'd? That's not why people talk about being sexually assaulted and saying you want people to send you money. If someone sent me money, I send it back, because that's really weird to just send somebody money because they were sexually assaulted. That's not how that works. I sure as heck wouldn't send money to someone that said they were sexually assaulted. I could understand if they was trying to leave an abusive situation and they was also sexually assaulted in the process of trying to get out and get into a safe situation. Then I could understand giving money. But giving money to someone just because they were sexually assaulted, yes, some people do write books. Some people do sell their stories. But I'm not one of those people. I don't even make money on here. I could if I set up the subscriptions on Instagram, but I'm not really going to go live on Instagram. I'm working on getting my place so I can do a lot more things. I have a lot of things that I want to do. Like, y'all just weird. Everything you think gravitates towards money. I don't have money. I don't have friends that are rich and have money. I'm broke and I'm trying to get a place to live. Some people have their priorities all wrong. No, you're weird for defending SA. You're weird for defending sexual assault. This is why people that are sexually assaulted don't come forward, because people victim shame. And then you have the nerve to say, I'm the reason why people won't speak up about sexual assault. No, you're the reason why. Because when people speak up, then they are silenced and told that it never happened. Oh, what does being conventionally attractive have anything to do with being sexually assaulted? Like, people don't sexually assault someone that's conventionally attractive. That's the stupidest thing I've heard in my lifetime. I don't care what the situation was. I don't care what anyone says. No matter what someone thought, what someone did, what someone thought it was, that does not mean if I left uncomfortable, then that means that I was sexually assaulted. It doesn't matter. Any point after that, it does not matter. To sit here and try to justify sexual assault is mad weird to me. It's mad weird. And then to say that I'm saying that I was sexually assaulted because nobody's talking to me, that's not the whole issue. Okay? You know, people don't have to speak right away about sexual assault if they didn't know, if they are barely figuring out. I literally realized I was sexually assaulted. I didn't realize when it happened. That doesn't mean that I wasn't sexually assaulted. Some people realize later in life what happened to them. Can we stop saying people have to talk right away? Because no, people don't have to talk right away if they're still processing things. It has nothing to do with nobody talking to me. It has nothing to do with that. And then to force someone to report something if they don't want to is basically saying if you don't report it, then it didn't happen. Again, you're trying to find ways to justify sexual assault. Is weird. I didn't speak right away. I spoke a few weeks after the situation because of what I realized. And I don't have to shut up because me speaking up about my sexual assault helps other people speak up. So I don't have to shut up. That's the thing. Why should I have to shut up? Me speaking about it can help someone else speak about it if they're uncomfortable to do so. It has nothing to do with that. I'm not trying to get revenge. I'm not trying to be rude, nasty, hateful. I'm not mad at the person. To be honest with you, it's unfair. It's unfair to sit here and say that I have no right to feel how I feel about what happened to me that day. That what I am saying is made up. You was not there. You don't even know the whole situation. I'm still trying to figure out everything because I was confused, considering to prior messages before, and then that happened to me. There were some prior messages before, and then all of a sudden here I am being grabbed, and I'm trying to figure out everything myself and trying to process everything. I'm not trying to constantly bring up this situation anymore. I just spoke about it because I was harboring emotions and I was holding it in. And to be honest with you, I am really hurt. It's not something that I can just forget or just let go or just not think about anymore. Like, this is like not something I just think of. Like, I can't just shut it off. You probably know what that's like. You probably love someone and then they turned around, lied to you. They probably, wasn't trustworthy, wasn't truthful or whatever. You're heartbroken. And sometimes it's really hard for you to get over that. And if your friends tells you to get over it right away, then those are not really your friends. Because you can't sit here and tell someone how to feel about something and then crack jokes. Like, some of you guys really didn't have parents to teach you how to be respectful. I said something because I was hurting and it was eating me alive. Mind you, I am battling my mind right now with my major depression. The story never changed. What are you talking about? The story never changed. I literally said to make a long story short because I'm not going to re-explain the whole story with useless parts of the story that does not even pertain to what happened. Why do I need to go in whole detail about how we was planning to get 99-cent tacos? What does that have to do with being SA'd? I told the story from the beginning only once because I mapped out how the whole day went. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, me and S was planning to go take the other person tacos and then da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't have to freaking go and into detail about the whole story again. Tacos has nothing to do with being SA, so why do I need to even repeat the whole story again when I can just make the long story short? Jesus Christ. I shouldn't have to justify things because people wants to defend horrible people. And I'm not saying that person is horrible, but defending horrible actions and defending people because they don't like me. I'm so sick and tired of that. And someone literally commented in the live yesterday that I deserve to be SA'd. And nobody said anything. No one spoke up. Nobody said, hey, that's wrong. Don't say that. Nobody did nothing. Because it's not just depression. I have major depression. You know what major depression is? It's a different type of disability. Some people have depression. Some people have major depression. I don't have just depression. I have major depression because it's really bad. It's the worst kind of depression to have. Hence the word major. Depression is just depression. It's not major depression. The reason why I say major depression is because I don't have just depression. If I had just depression, then I would say I have depression. No, I have major depression. Thank you. Hey. Well, I'm diagnosed by a professional too. It's on paper. Literally, when my therapist looked up my diagnosis, it's there. Major depression and PTSD is there. I literally talk with my therapist. My therapist knows my diagnosis. It's actually I was actually diagnosed by a professional that asked me a series of questions. You know, when they ask you questions before they diagnose you, and you answer the questions, and it's very tough questions that you have to answer, that sometimes causes you to relive your trauma. And then once you're done, then they tell you what your diagnoses are. Yeah, I was diagnosed by a professional. How would I know that? I had to sit there and answer a bunch of tough questions, and I'm literally diagnosed. It's on paper. Not Chat GPT, not some fake person, a licensed person. Just because you're mad that I was diagnosed, it's literally on paper. When people go to look up my disabilities, or when they go to look up what I have, they can just look it up on the computer and it'll show major depression and PTSD. It's literally there. MD. That's what I have. Major depression. Well, it is true because my therapist looked it up and it's there on paper, so. First of all, I didn't get prescribed meds because the person I got diagnosed by does not, the place that I was at that I got diagnosed by does not prescribe you meds. I have to go to a psychiatrist to get prescribed meds. And actually, from what I've been talking to people and I've been telling people, is I do not want to be medicated. There's a lot of side effects that comes with taking depression depression medication. They literally said it would help, but from what I've said, I do not want to be medicated. Should I be medicated? Of course. But again, this place does not have someone that prescribes you a medicine. All they do is they diagnose you. I would have to go to a psychiatrist and get prescribed. And even then, I've already expressed that I do not want to be medicated. There are too much side effects to deal with that I don't want to have to deal with. I already expressed to people I did not want to get diagnosed. Okay, well, whatever. Every medication that you take has a side effect. You do know that, right? There is no medication without some sort of side effect. Any medication you take comes with some sort of slight side effect. Trust me. And even sometimes people that take depression medication, sometimes it doesn't work and it makes them more depressed. My mom had a friend like that who took medication and she was getting worse. And again, medication works differently for everybody, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that's going to happen to me. But the thing is that I do not want to be medicated. I know they help if you find the right medication, but for me, I do not want to be medicated. That's just my choice. And maybe I could find some natural remedies that I can do to help against depression where I don't have to take medications. Again, it's because the government and society tells you, here, have a pill, right? When you go to the doctor and you have some slight pain, right? You can go to the doctor, the ER, and tell them you're literally in pain somewhere. You can lie, and they will give you a medication, and you can leave with a medication and be misdiagnosed. I've seen it happen before. I went with a friend whose daughter wanted to get out of gym and showed like a little cut on her toe or something, said that she had a urinary infection, gave her doctor's note and gave her medication. I'm like, wow. Like, they just be giving people medication like crazy. Trust me, you want to test that, walk into an ER, act like you're dying, and they'll give you some sort of medication. They just throw pills at you. You could literally just take what the nature gives you. You don't have to take those medicines. If you literally do natural at-home remedies, I'm pretty sure those work a lot better than taking medications that have side effects. Yeah, I got summer plans. I'm going to do a lot of stuff during the summer. I'm going to find stuff to do that's free. I didn't admit I should be on medication. I have major depression, so obviously I do need to be medicated. Duh. But I don't want to be medicated. I'm not a danger to society. With depression, I'm not a danger to society. I'm a danger to myself. It would be different if I had mental health issues, which I don't have any mental health issues. The only thing that I have as far as mental health issues goes, which I don't know, I have the PTSD. I have the PTSD. That's it. That's all I have. PTSD. And major depression, but yeah, memory loss. I'm not a danger to anyone because I'm not threatening to go out and harm anybody. How am I a danger to society? I would be a danger if I was going online and literally making threats to people and literally posting it online and saying, I'm going to go over there and harm this person. I have never said I was going to harm anyone. Anytime I've said about harming, it's always been to myself. I have never talked about going out there and harming people. I can't even be upset or hurt without someone assuming something. You guys really don't care about saving lives when it comes to someone harming themselves, because you sit here and you tell someone to kill themselves and then have the nerve to call whoever you're trying to call and say, oh, she's trying to harm herself, but then you're turning around telling that same person to kill themselves. Should I literally provide that to people and be like, look, this is what they saying, and these are the people that are calling to make sure someone's okay, but then they're turning around and telling the person that they hope is okay to kill themselves? That is very hypocritical. Imagine me calling to make sure someone, acting like I cared about someone and making sure they're okay, and then turning around and telling them to kill themselves. Well, just calling not too long ago to say, hey, this person's trying to harm themselves. Can you go see if they're okay? How is someone going to be okay when you're telling them to kill themselves? Just do it. Just take more than 7 Tylenol. What is wrong with you people? You could care less if I take my life. Let's be for real. And I'm not going to take my life. Sorry, what I was gonna say was is that, you know, nobody would care, to be honest with you, nobody would care if I took my life. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna take my life. But you literally being like, oh, she's gonna harm herself. Can you go check on her, please? You don't care. Nobody would care if I did it. And I'm not gonna do it, but I'm just telling you. Stop acting like you care. Seriously. You don't understand what I said. You're not even understanding. With major depression, you have dark thoughts. Just because I had thoughts doesn't mean I'm going to act on it. Hello, I've already talked to people about that. I've already told them, yes, when I attempted last year, that never went away. It does not matter. Who cares? I'm not baiting anyone online. You don't care if I take my life or not, so why are you acting like you do? You are literally sitting here telling someone to take their life and then turning around and calling and saying that you want to see if they're okay. Because I'm going to be like, no, I'm not okay because people are telling me to kill myself. And then I'm going to show them your username and I'm going to start screenshotting people. And then I'm going to be like, and no one's trying to find out who these people are. No one's telling them anything. The FBI needs to go find these people and walk into their jobs and confront them. Because this is crazy. I've never baited before. Last year when I attempted to take my life, I took 7 Tylenol. And you want to know why I took 7 Tylenol? This girl, which I don't know if it pertains to me, all I know is she rolled down her window and then she rolled the back window and there was some older man in the back. I don't know if it was her dad or who it was, but she was looking at me and she was just laughing, right? So I took it as, oh, you think I'm a joke. You think I was really joking. And at that time, I don't know if I had went live twice. I couldn't remember. So because I thought she was laughing at me, I took it as an egg on. So then I just started swallowing one after another until I took 7. Then I started to feel a little weird, started freaking out because I was feeling a little not so good because I took 7. And then that's when I went live and started freaking out because I thought this girl was just like egging me on to do it because she rolled down her window, looked at me and was laughing. So I'm like, oh, you think this is a joke? Well, then I'll show you what's really a joke. So I was like, since people think this is funny, they think this situation, like, everything was going wrong, I was like, you know what? I cannot deal with this anymore. And I took 7 of them. That's not the first time I tried to take any. And that was not the first time I attempted to take my life, by the way. And then you wonder why these young kids in elementary school are taking their lives while people like you are telling someone to unalive themselves. You are giving these young kids an example to go bully someone and tell them to take their life, and then they actually do it. They're learning from you. And you want to talk about how I'm not an influencer? Thank God I'm not an influencer, and you're not influencing anyone either. You're influencing people to be bullies and tell young people to take their lives. You're influencing people to take more lives. Do you want to know what's crazy? And I think it was 10% or it's more, because of kids that are struggling with their identity and being told that it's not okay to be gay, to be trans, to be whatever it is, would rather take their life than to live with the hatred that they get from existing. And you're sitting here making jokes telling someone to take their life while it's Pride Month. And I'm literally struggling with my identity and not being able to fully speak about myself. And you're telling me to take my life. Y'all are weird. Hello? It has nothing to do with me. Well, I'm pretty sure it has everything to do with me. I'm a person of color. I'm a part of the community, the LGBTQ plus community, whether you like it or not. And yes, I do have major depression. And there's a lot of things that I struggle with. You don't get to sit here and tell me what I'm not a part of. I didn't just decide one day that I wanted to become something. That's not how that works. You know, some people could wake up and decide to be a superhero. I did not wake up and ask for that. Why would I decide to wake up and ask for hatred? I've been told multiple times because of certain religions that I'm going to go to hell and that I'm not accepted. Hello, why would I want to choose that? You don't choose being gay. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say. If you're saying that, then that's harmful. Nobody wakes up and just chooses that. Like, what? Well, nobody cares. Saying that someone is not welcome in the community is very harmful towards the community. And I'm pretty sure people in the LGBTQ community would not stand behind you. That is very harmful rhetoric. That is like telling someone you don't agree with that isn't really as problematic as Candace Owens that we do not accept you as a black person. That type of rhetoric is what people use towards the community, because you're not even talking about what's going on in the community. You're not talking about the hate crimes and what's happening to people. You don't really care about your community when you're saying, oh, you're problematic, so we don't accept you. That's not how that works. That's really weird. Well, first of all, LGBTQ does not have predators. And you just literally didn't realize that you used a harmful rhetoric that is towards LGBTQ community because you just literally used a stereotype. I'm not a predator. So to say the LGBTQ does not accept predators is weird, considering the fact you know that they call people in the LGBTQ predators. So why would you put those two together? Like, do you not think before you speak? Nowhere have I been charged with anything. Nowhere have I said or had inappropriate messages back and forth with minors. I'm not James Charles. I never said... I was on somewhere else, and I can't remember what it was that I was talking about. I never said gay people had AIDS. I was talking about something... I was referencing something. I was talking about something that someone said. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember if it was Ryan White or something like that. If you guys know the whole Ryan White situation. Ryan White got AIDS from contaminated blood, I believe. Well, obviously he was a minor, so he couldn't, he ended up getting AIDS. People back then thought that if you just hug someone, they got AIDS. Literally, I was talking, I don't remember what the conversation was, if it was Ryan White or something else. I can't remember the conversation, but I was not saying that gay people have AIDS. That's not what I said. People love to crop and take live streams out of context. They don't even post the whole live stream. Post the whole live stream then. If that's the case, post the whole live stream. You won't post the whole live stream because you don't post the context. You post out of context stuff, and then you think people, and then you let people run with it. Beaming curses. I literally explained it to you what the context was. You didn't get the full context. Someone shared me saying that all gay people have AIDS or whatever it was. I didn't say that. There was a whole discussion behind that. And if you was in there, you would have got a history on what I was talking about. You can't just assume something comes out of somebody's mouth because they take 15 seconds of a live. They need to post a whole live and stop lying. There was a reason. I was not saying all gay people have AIDS. Use your common sense. I was talking about something. Jesus Christ. I'm not mad because you know what's frustrating is I can take anything that you say. I could literally take that part, right? And I could rewrite something at the beginning of your message and make it look like you said that. It's easy to do. Anyone could do it. Like, I could take anybody's comment and make them say whatever they want. It's not that hard. Like, you guys, I don't go out of my way to ruin people's lives by making false receipts. That's weird behavior. To literally say we don't want you in your community and call me a freak is so weird because people in your community would not accept you for literally saying that. Like, you literally want to be liked by the straight people by saying that. Like, that was weird. I didn't ask for someone to argue with me. And who said I loved attention? What does me being bi have to do with loving attention? That has nothing to do with attention. Do you know the people that came before me? The only reason why we're able to celebrate freely and have some sort of freedoms and have equality is because of Marshall P. Johnson. When you're talking about attention, you need to know the history of where things come from. What are we talking about? What does me existing as my identity have anything to do with attention, considering the fact the people that came before me that I have to acknowledge, that is the reason why I'm able to exist as I am. Because if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even have pride. So what are you even talking about? You want to sit here and be hateful in Pride Month is so crazy to me. Sit here and then question someone's sexuality is so weird. It be your own people in your own community that be questioning. That's why it's internalized homophobia and it's weird. And on Pride Month too, by the way. What are you talking about? I didn't care. I was posting a lot of stuff about the LGBTQ community. What are you talking about? Did you not see my Insta stories? Even before I was in love with a woman, I was posting stuff. What are you talking about? I have family members that are gay. Like, are we not? I literally called out my uncle for being homophobic, or did you just forget that? From what I witnessed, from what I assumed, that's what I assumed. What happened was we were at my grandma's funeral. Since you don't remember, we was at my grandma's funeral. And one of my cousins, he had a guy with him. I believe that was his partner. They were sitting at a table by themselves and not with his dad. And I wondered why his dad did not want to sit with him. Mind you, his dad didn't even talk to him once, didn't even look at him, didn't even say anything, didn't even acknowledge that he was there. And after we left, that's when I realized why he didn't acknowledge him. Because he didn't want to acknowledge the fact that his son was gay and brought his partner to my grandma's funeral. Do you know how messed up that is? Mind you, that's not my only cousin that is gay. Mind you, since you want to say I never cared, in high school, I was in Gay Straight Alliance. It was called we changed the name to Students and Faculty for Equality. I went to a car wash to help fundraise money for the club. It was the Gay Straight Alliance. I was in that club when I was in high school. I've always been fighting for gay rights. For you to sit there and say I never cared, I did care. What are you doing except like being internally homophobic? And on top of internally being homophobic, you're literally sitting here and doing it on Pride Month and then questioning someone's sexuality. I'm so sick and tired of being questioned. I got questioned way too much and I don't like it. No, it's not Black Pride Club. I was in Black Student Union. Black Student Union is like Stomp the Yard. Have you ever heard of Step? If you've seen Stomp the Yard, that's what it was. We did a step routine. I was in Black Student Union, I was in Student Government, and I was in Gay Straight Alliance, which we changed it to Students and Faculty for Equality. Now, the reason why we changed it to that is because we knew there were people out there that would not support it. So they changed it to get donations. Was like, it was a safer thing to do because obviously we're high school students. Imagine high school students going out there and fundraising a car wash for Gay Straight Alliance and then you get hate crimed. Like, someone would have got beat up. They would have not, it would have been a whole hate crime. It was for the safety of the students. It was for the safety of everyone. No, because you know why I haven't done that, and I will tell you why I haven't done that. Because I'm not out here trying to have sex with people. Like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? You know why I've never been with a woman? Because I'm just now figuring out about myself and that I like women. And I'm not out here trying to have sex. I don't know why I had to explain that to people. Why do you care if I'm having sex or not? That is so weird. That is my personal business, not yours. Like, I can literally go have sex if I wanted to, man or woman. Like, I'm not out here for that. I'm trying to get a place to live. I'm bi for clicks. That makes no sense considering the fact. You want to know something that is funny? You said I'm bi for clicks. After I made that video about being bi, do you know how much followers I lost? I lost 1,000+ followers after I made that video. And I got called the D word. Wow. I so did it for attention when I'm literally losing followers. I lost a lot of followers, which I could care, good riddance. Like, if you don't support the LGBTQ community, then I don't want you supporting me. I literally lost a lot of followers since saying what I said. Hence, that does not mean attention. I did not get clicks. I did not get likes. I lost followers, which I could care less because good riddance. You knew that I stood for and protected the LGBTQ plus community, then why were you still following me? It took me saying that I was bi for you to unfollow me. You should have already unfollowed me. I don't need you or your hatred on my page. I don't need you on my page. I am literally not trying to go get anything. I don't know why people I don't know why people are so invested with who I have sex with or my sex life. That's really weird. I'm not sitting here asking you list all the people you've had sex with. That is so weird. I'm trying to get a place to live. Like, where are your priorities? Are you okay? Because it doesn't seem like your priorities are in the right place if you're worried about whether or not... Why would I be thinking about having sex when my mom is at a shelter? Does that make any slight sort of sense? Being bi has nothing to do with a rebrand. I didn't need to rebrand. I was already getting views and follows. Why did I need to rebrand? A rebrand would mean that I would gain followers, not lose followers. If I was rebranding, I wouldn't rebrand to something where I lose followers. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Considering the fact I was getting a lot of followers. My follower count was going up a lot. And so is what was my views. I don't post as much, that's why. I haven't posted as much. And when I do post, I don't care about views. I post a video, and if it goes viral, if it goes viral, it goes viral. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And sometimes I don't realize till after that I've gotten 1 million views. I am one of those people who could care less about views and likes and whatever the case may be. Like, I post videos and then I don't even really look at the comments. Sometimes I do respond to some comments, negative comments, but for the most part, I just post a video and then I don't even really look at the comments. I just leave. When I post something to my story, I just post it and then I don't even look at the messages. Like, some people will send nasty messages, I'll just delete it. If I read the first part of it, I'm just deleting it. That's it, that's all. I don't need to be entertaining the negativity. Like, for me, and I'm going to tell you the truth, right? I don't really care about views. I just post stuff and then I go. Like, there are a lot of people that care about the likes and care about the views because they make money. For me personally, I don't make that much money on Instagram or Facebook. And yes, my 15-second videos do, if they go viral, I do make money. But I'm not making anything but like 1 cent. I literally made like what? I think it was only like last month I got paid $11 from Facebook, because with Facebook and Instagram, you have to be hitting 10 million views to get thousands of dollars. I'm not hitting 10 million views. I'm not going mega super viral because I'm just posting lip sync videos and just going about my day, okay? I post lip sync videos because that's mostly all I could basically do until I get a place, because, you know, I can't show my background, because if I show my background, then I get doxxed. That's a whole other thing. I'm not trying to... I can't work on my content till I get a place. I'm not getting 11 bucks. That's not what I'm only getting. I'm not only getting 11 bucks. That's on Facebook and Instagram. That's not TikTok. TikTok, I get more than 11 bucks. But the issue is I got kicked off the creator program because first of all, I applied. I don't know. It says something about not unoriginal. It was I don't know what it was. I can't even remember what the violation was, but it was a false violation. And then after the false violation, right? After the false violation, then I went to reapply, and it says that I haven't posted any quality content because the one video that I kept posting that was somewhat over a minute, I think, or I don't know, It's the video of me saying that I'm going live. It says it's not eligible for the creator fund. It keeps telling me that every time I post it, which is fine. It's ineligible, which does not cause it to have a strike. But for me, because I wasn't posting any type of content like that, when I have a place, I'm going to post content where I start talking more, where I start talking about more situations, because I always talk about things, everything. What I can talk about on my page, what I can do on my page, what I can't. I'm at a place where I gotta be careful what I'm doing, because if someone sees the background, then I'm doxxed. I have a lot of ideas. Like, I'm trying to get money so I could do a lot more photo shoots and do a lot more things that way too. Well, if you know fast food is always hiring, then why don't you go apply for a job? You know they need people to work, but yet you're waiting. That's lazy. Imagine knowing that people need people to work and you're too lazy to go help them. Man, some of you guys really don't want to work. You know these jobs are hiring. You know these jobs need help. They need people. And you're going to let them struggle like that because you don't want to work? Yeah, I said photo shoots. I have started my YouTube channel, but I can't post anything on it. I just told you that. Just like I can't post anywhere else. And because of that, I have to wait. YouTube, I have to reapply for the creator fund because I wasn't posting any videos and I wasn't generating any money. So they said I can reapply. They kicked me out of the creator fund. I didn't even get a strike. They just said that they closed it and then I could just rejoin. But I'm not going to rejoin until I'm able to make videos. So, yeah. You know why I said y'all don't want to work? Because you keep telling me like, oh, this place is hiring. Well, if you know the place is hiring, then why don't you apply instead of telling someone to go apply? You apply. You don't want to work because you don't want to help the job. If you know that job needs people, because obviously if they're asking people to apply for the job, that must mean that they need someone to work. They need help because they're short-staffed. Why are you looking at the application and not applying? I didn't get fired on my day off. I was at work when I got fired. And I didn't even get fired. I was put on a 2-week suspension over a piece of cheese. I didn't get fired on my day off. I was at work making sandwiches. I was a sandwich maker at Dunkin' Donuts. And I always got a lot of tips because I was really good at what I did. And my regulars would tip me. Something you probably wouldn't know about. Because I have good customer service and also because I was just good. I didn't get fired on my day off. I was at work when I was asked to leave work because I got suspended. The manager had to come and sign that piece of paper. You know the piece of paper that the manager has to sign when you get suspended? I had to stand there and watch him sign it. And then I kept calling to see if I had my job. She didn't even tell me when I had to come back to work or if I had my job. So I stopped calling because it was always, oh, she's at the other one, because she managed both Dunkin' Donuts. There was 2 Dunkin' Donuts she was managing. And every time I called, it was like, oh, she's at the other one. She's not here. Like, you literally have employees lying for you. I do not want to work for someone that is unprofessional. Nor do I want to beg someone for a job. I am not going to beg someone for a measly $200. You want me to beg for not even a living wage? I couldn't even move out. No, I didn't get fired for smelling bad, because if you listen to my YouTube, then you would know that's not why I got fired. I said she bullied me. Do you know what bullying is? Adults can bully you. Your manager can bully you. She bullied me. She lied. She tried to say someone called and said I smelled bad. Another employee told me that was not true. After the boss left, she walked right up to me and said that is not true. You know what her excuse was and what she tried to tell me? Maybe you need to buy expensive clothes soap. She didn't say laundry. She didn't say laundry detergent. She said clothes soap. Maybe you need to buy more expensive clothes soap. I don't need to buy anything that is expensive. First of all, you're paying for the brand, not because they're good. There's something like, oh jeez. It's a bug and it's flying around. Oh Jesus Christ, go away. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of beetle or something. Sorry, guys. It's this beetle, whatever it was. It's a big red thing that keeps flying around. And it's cause, no, it's like a big old beetle thing, a bee or something. I don't know. And then it landed and then it flew. Anyways. No, it was a beetle because it's like rounded like a beetle. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. So yeah, because first of all, she lied to me. When I worked at Dunkin', when I first started, she was like, you have to work up towards minimum wage. That's not how that works. You don't work up towards minimum wage. Like, you don't work up to that. Yes, I am. But yeah. Well, that's what she told me, and to be honest, it was my first job. So, I don't know if she wasn't giving me full-time. She was giving me part-time. And mind you, I only made $200. So I gave $100 to my dad, and then I kept $100. But I also had to pay for my phone bill. So I paid, I took $50 out of that, and I only had $50 left for spending money. So yeah. You're not understanding. $200 is not enough to live. I'm not going to go work a job to be told that I have to make 3 times the rent. Then I'm never going to get a place because they're not going to accept the fact that I'm making $200. What place do you know that you can rent for $200? and then get a car, put gas in it with car insurance. What are you even talking about? I don't only make $11 online. Did you know that when TikTok had subscriptions, TikTok live subscriptions, when I was living in the car, I made $3,000 in January? $3,000 in January. I made a whole paycheck in 1 month. I made someone's like two months of paychecks in a whole month. Probably even 3 months of work in a month. Literally, I made $3,000 in January. That's how do you think I went to Comic-Con and took my brother to Comic-Con? Mind you, we were looking for an RV. I was going to buy an RV. But they wanted a lot of money. Like some people wanted $15,000, some people wanted $10,000. There was some RVs that we found, but they were scams. They were cheap, but they were scams. And we were looking, and the RVs that were for a good price were already sold by the time I got paid. So the money went into the cars. The money went in to fix the cars, to get them fixed. But that money went because, car parts are not cheap. Car parts are not cheap. So I went with a budget. Okay, I had a budget in mind. So I said, this is how much I'm going to spend. So I planned out, because it tells you how much celebrity autographs are. So I said, these are the autographs we're getting. This is all I'm spending at Comic-Con, because I told my family we need to save for an RV. And I planned it out, and I said, this is how much we'll have for an RV. I made $3,000. So at the time when we went to Comic-Con, yes, there was one signature that I was planning on not getting. Only one. It was an unplanned signature because my brother wanted to get it for one of his friends. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I think one or two. There might have been two signatures that were unplanned, because I think the dancing Deadpool was not planned, but I don't remember. Anyways, after that, I had about like 2,000 left. 2,000 plus. I had a lot of money left. So then when it came time, I basically had to help with parts for the car. I had to help with a lot of things, and that's where the money went. And then after that, the 20% battery came up. So then when the money was all gone, then we couldn't get an RV. So that's why we ended up having to live in a car, and we didn't ever get the RV, is because it went to other things. It went to fix the car and the SUV, and parts are not expensive, and cars, gas, before the gas prices hiked. Yeah, and thank God we're not living in a car still, because with these gas prices, whew, and the money that my brother was making from DoorDash, I literally have money saved. I have all the receipts to where all that money went, and it did not go to anything stupid. The only thing I spent money on was Comic-Con, and I didn't even spend the whole $3,000 there, because I already had a plan. I already knew that I was going to get an RV. But the RVs that people wanted was expensive. And I said, I'm not going to put all my money in this RV. I know we can get, when you run, because you see something and you have the money and you're like, yeah, let me go get it right away. When I know that there's going to be an RV that's cheaper, and I'm going to be like, oh, there's the same RV that's for a cheaper price, and I spent all this money. Plus, you need money for things. We would have needed money because, yeah, we could have found some place to park, but we was going to park in an RV park, which means we would have had to pay rent. Because when you park in an RV park, it's not free. You have to pay rent monthly, because you have to hook up unless you have a generator or something like that. But you literally have to go to hook up whenever you use the restroom, anything like that. When you're living in an RV, Well, first of all, I had money left over for an RV. So telling me I didn't need to go to Comic-Con. That was the last Comic-Con I went to with my brother. And it's a good thing I did go. I didn't spend all my money at Comic-Con. I know what I spend all my money on. And I don't have to show people what I spent all my money on. Mind you, it went to cars. Mind you, that's where all the money went. I didn't spend $3,000 on autographs. You must be crazy. I don't have that much autographs. Like, y'all be weird sometimes. You try to complain about things. Well, I could go if I want to. What do you mean I didn't need to go? If I want to go do something with my money, I can. Why does that bother you? I can do whatever I want. I don't need someone to tell me what I can or cannot do. If I want to go to Comic-Con, I'm going to go to Comic-Con. It would have been different. See, if I had went to Comic-Con, right? And I am going to say this. If I had went to Comic-Con and didn't have money for an RV, of course I wouldn't be going to Comic-Con. I would have said, no, we need to save this money for an RV. I'm not stupid. I know how to manage money. Okay? You don't know how to manage money. And if it wasn't for my money management skills, we wouldn't have a running car. We wouldn't have had a running car. The car that we had didn't run because it needed a transmission. The transmission ran about $200. That's what I got from TikTok. When I got paid $200, my brother went, I gave him the money, and he bought the car part. In order for the car to run properly, we needed a transmission. We were in a car that didn't run with no heat. We would hang out at the library. Then we would go into the car and sleep in a car that had no heat. Because it didn't run, because the other car didn't run. My brother needed that car to run so we can also sleep in it so he can get to work. And if it wasn't for my $200, we wouldn't have had that. So then, when I got the $3,000 and I spent some of it at Comic-Con, when we were trying to get the RV, the car needed money. It went for the car because if I didn't have that money, then we wouldn't have had a running car. There was no way I was paying a lot of money for an RV. You have to plan things. You have to understand. You can't just buy an RV. There's a lot of things that goes forth for an RV. I'm not gonna throw all my money into an RV. There's a lot of things we needed. If you just put all the money you had and say, well, there's an RV for $3,000 and all you have is $3,000. That doesn't make no sense. You have to learn how to plan. You have to be financially responsible. You don't throw all your money down and you don't go running, right? And say, oh, well, I'm never going to find an RV for this price. Yes, you can. Trust me. Do you know that, well, I manifest a lot of things. Because there was one time I went to the flea market. This was when we had an apartment. Our old apartment, right? I went to the flea market and I said, I'm going to find a big flat screen TV for $40. Sure enough, flat screen TV, $40. You don't got to pay a lot of money for things. If you know what you're doing and if you work right, you can get things for cheaper. You don't have to spend all that money. People want to run because consumerism has them by the cojones. Literally. And then they tell you, if you don't hurry up and buy this, you'll never be able to get one again, right? Or, people run and buy these because they're like, oh, you go running and you spend all this money, and what good is that? What if it breaks down? Then you bought it really expensive. I don't have a TV now. It's in storage. And when I got the TV, I had an apartment. I just literally said that. When I got the TV, I was at my apartment. That's the TV I had in my room. Hello. Show you what, the TV? I don't have the TV. It's in storage. No, my mom wasn't even paying rent. So I don't know why you said my mom had an apartment. My dad was the one that was paying the rent with his disability. Open your eyes, you are homeless. Oh my God, I didn't even realize I was homeless. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm shocked. Guys, did you know I'm homeless? I didn't even realize I'm homeless. Oh my God. Hey Mom, did you know that we're homeless? We don't know that we're homeless. You know what is so weird? When you say that I never paid rent and I could have saved up, I wasn't making enough money to pay rent. I just started social media. Mind you, when I did make money, my dad asked me for the money to start businesses. I paid for online websites that costed $400. While you're sitting here telling me I never paid rent, neither did my brother's ex, and she was also living there. Neither did my brother. Because they were told that to save money. They literally got told. My dad said, you guys don't have to pay rent. Save your money so you can get a place. No, she was going to the casino and gambling money, and then she was going out and eating fast food. Mind you, when I was where I was at going to the casino, when people kept catching me at the casino, it was not with my money, by the way. How is it that you call me broke, but then I'm able to go to the casino? That literally makes no sense. It's either I'm broke or I have money. Like, you can't have one without the other. You literally sit here and say, oh, you was broke. Oh, you're a brokey. But then when you take pictures of me at the casino, oh, she is spending money at the casino. What money? If I'm broke, then what money? Mind you, that was not my money. The person that took me offered to give money to play. That's the only reason why I went. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going to the casino. I had no money. I don't go to the casino when I don't have no money, except when I was in the car, because my brother would take us to get out of the car. When he would go with his friends when we were sleeping in the car, and his friends didn't even know we were sleeping in the car. He would take us to the casino on Fridays after Sonic because his friends would go to get us out of the car. No, I didn't use people. They said, do you want to go? And I said, yeah. I never said, hey, let's go to the casino. I'm not the one who asked. I didn't ask people for their money. They said, hey, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I'll go. I'll get out. I didn't ask people for money. I didn't use people. Because if that's the case, I would have told them to go every single day. I would have said, hey, let's go to the casino. Let's not do that. That's weird. What the heck is that? Oh. That kind of scared me. Well, whatever. Actually, I didn't have to use the money for gambling, by the way. I could have saved the money, you know that. She didn't say that we had to gamble it. I literally didn't have to, but I was making money. Mind you, I was doing good at blackjack. And yes, I didn't blow all the money at the casino. If I wasn't doing good, I would save some. I would come home with at least something. I wouldn't just spend all the money at the casino, by the way. how do you think my storage was being paid? On top of what I was making from Temu. I just told you I did save it. I paid my bills with it. Like, I literally just paid my storage with it. And I paid my phone bill. That's where the money went. I saved it for storage. It was gone because it went to storage. It's not going to get auctioned off because I still have time to pay it. I'm getting paid from Temu, but I didn't set up the video right, so now I fixed it so it's set up right. So yeah, my storage is going to get paid. Anyways, my phone is at 10%. It's going to die, so I better get off. You know, I have to go charge it. Have a good day or night where you guys are, and I'll see you guys. No, my ankles, because I got bit by mosquitoes. I have mosquito bites. That's what I'm scratching. Because I got bit on my ankles. Anyways, have a good day or night where you guys are. We'll see you guys later. I gotta get off because my phone's at 10%. But have a good night and stay safe. Bye, guys.